Good morning, all. So let us start. I can see that more people are joining as we speak, but I don't want to hold up the people who have come on time. So, so I think today's. Can you all hear me properly? Vignesh, can you confirm?
Yes, sir. Audio is clear.
Okay, and then you're also able to see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if anyone has any trouble, you can write it in the chat. So today's webinar, what we'll do is we will continuously, I'll be talking about this particular topic, and then now and then I'll stop, and then we will check for your questions in the chat box. Okay, so my request is, as you get your questions in your mind, you can type them into the chat box. I will definitely stop in between somewhere and then we will discuss that. In fact, today's topic, my suggestion is I'm going to present little bit only. Okay, I just have about 10 slides. But I would like to discuss more about the issues that all of you may be having, because that will make it more interactive, and then you would have some satisfaction that your point is addressed. So that's what is my suggestion. So fine. So let's start this webinar. See, we are talking about riding a technology wave. Okay, I'm sure I think all of you would have seen the technology wave happening. Okay, maybe in the last 10 to 15 years itself. Okay, in our personal lives, we have been seeing a lot of change. Okay, there is a change in terms of what do you call the technology that all of us are enjoying. So you have seen WhatsApp becoming a very prominent part of our lives in the last 10 years. And then we have seen Swiggy and Zomato and the online food apps. And there are so many online purchasing options. I think now every house, I'm sure, is receiving at least 5 to 10 packages in a month from Amazon. So most of the people are doing the purchases online now. So so what's happening is the life that we see is slowly shifting to a significant part of it shifting to online. So there are so many activities or so many things that we are doing using technology. We may or may not realize that, or we may take it for granted actually now. Because now if I want to go to somebody's house, okay, so these days uh, I'm not storing their address and so on and so forth. All that I wanted before going, I'll just message them saying that, okay, just send me your location. Okay, and then I just use the Google Maps and then just go there. Okay, so that way now the life has changed a lot in our personal lives, and then we are using technology quite easily. Okay, but my observation had been that in the same thing is not happening and in the our official areas. Okay, same thing is happening, not happening to the extent that is required in the at work. You would have observed that even in the government also is using a lot of technology. Okay, if you go to, for example, Tamil Nadu government website and then look for the electronic services, that is online services that are available, they have nearly about 250 to 300 online services available in various departments. Same is the case with every state government. Okay, and then union government also is having so many online services. In fact, I would say the government of India and the state governments have made much more progress on the technology than anyone else. You may be knowing that the UPI payments, the online payments that we are doing, this is perhaps the largest volume across the world. Okay, so many more Indians are online compared to any other country. Okay, so the infrastructure that is required for that, the technology implementation had been, it was started, I think, when the Aadhaar card was introduced. So when the Aadhaar card came about, that was supposed to be one unique identification for all of us. And then now everything is rotating around the Aadhaar card. So they are building the infrastructure around the Aadhaar card. So your bank account is linked to Aadhaar card, your income tax account is linked to Aadhaar card. And that way, so what happens is it's almost that many of us, we are almost living online, because if government wants to know about you as to what's happening with you, they'll be able to know about you quite well, because there is enough activity that you are doing online, and your phone number is also linked to your Aadhaar card and so on. So they know everything as to what is happening in our lives. So that's the bad side of it. But what I'm saying is the government has been very active on implementing technology. Okay, so I would say that's government is number one right now. And the private players, mostly the foreign players, have done a lot in India, the WhatsApp and Facebook and all those guys. Okay, so with all that, what's happening is the companies are falling behind. The companies are falling behind for various reasons. Okay, we will discuss some of them today. The introduction of technology is happening definitely in companies, but in the top 5% of the companies, I think perhaps they are doing it very well. Companies like, let's say, Maruti Suzuki, or Toyota in India, or the big companies like that. Those guys are doing quite well. But the majority of the companies, I would say 90% of the companies are still having serious problem in terms of technology implementation. So that's the reason actually I wanted to talk to all of you about this particular topic, because see, you are all working in the Indian manufacturing companies and the other service companies and so on. Now we have to learn how to ride this technology wave. We have to learn how to use this technology. We have to become tech savvy. Okay, only then the companies will have success. Now you can ask me then, how is that government is able to do? The government, the scale at which the government does, you have no choice. You have to use the technology. Let's say, for example, a few years back, I went to the government office, state government office for ration card. So this is about 4 or 5 years back. So they said, sir, there is nothing that we can do now. Everything you have to do online. So I had to come back and then go into the civil supplies department of Tamil Nadu. And then I had to do everything online. So I had to upload my Aadhaar card and other documents that the website will ask. And then after that, the ration card has come to my home within about 2 or 3 days. So what is happening is the government, when it implements, you have no choice but to use. So it will become tech savvy. You will become tech savvy in that area. But let's say if it is Swiggy or Zomato and all, just the convenience of it, that makes it makes you use that. Okay. So with all that, the implementation at a large scale is happening. You are using Uber or Ola app because it's convenient to you. Okay. You don't have to book the what do you call cab and then wait for it, or you don't have to book it much in advance. Sometimes you'll have a problem when you book the cab with the company that you know. But with Uber and Ola, at least in most of the cities, they have also become to failure to some extent now. But I would say it is still in a manageable proportion. So that way, the bigger implementations will happen. I'll talk about one of those bigger implementations a few slides later on. So, but in a company where we have to play a big role in implementation of technology, many companies are having problems. The companies are having problems because individuals are having problems. Okay, so let's get into this presentation. Now, when I'm talking about the technology wave, okay, so now there are many people who still saying that technology wave, what technology wave are we talking about, sir? We don't see any technology wave. They are fully relaxed. Okay. So these are the people who are caught up in their day-to-day works, and then they are not noticing anything different in the company, because many companies, maybe they are not at introducing the technology. So, but wherever they are introducing the technology also, the employees are caught up in their own activities. Okay, and they are not even recognizing that. Okay, let's say, for example, I've seen SAP being introduced in many companies. Now, in these companies, people still keep doing their work in their old ways. This is one of the problems, one of the reasons actually why technology is failing. Okay, so because people are simply oblivious of it. Okay, in personal lives, we are using it, but at work, we are stuck with doing the way in which we have been doing. Okay, so there is a good percentage of people at work who are not even recognizing that there is a technology wave. Okay, so because of that, what happens? The consequences of this is the companies, maybe at the top, they want to introduce something good, maybe automation, maybe ERP, maybe artificial intelligence. Okay, or they may want to collect data from the systems, the computers that are there on the machines. Okay, all these initiatives, they don't succeed because the people are not still recognizing that there is a lot of technology coming up, and then we have to use the technology. So that's the first problem that we have. And then, if you look at actually, when I say at work, what do you mean by technology? There can be a lot of definitions for this. All of you know it that there is a lot of technology that is happening now. So there is something called Internet of Things. Okay, so Internet of Things is connecting just about everything that you can see around you to the internet. Okay, whether it is a refrigerator or whether it is, I mean, it is possible to connect all your machines in your company to the internet. Some of the companies have done it, some of the companies have not done it. Okay, so today there are opportunities to connect all the equipment that is there in your house also to the internet. Okay, so this is Internet of Things. So you would have seen, I'm sure, in some of your companies, you would have seen that the supplier of a major equipment may be accessing the machine right from where they are. Let's say it's a Japanese machine. Okay, so from Japan, they will access it and try to do a troubleshooting. Okay, so that you would have seen. So that is what is Internet of Things. So connecting all machines to the internet so that the accessibility becomes easy. I know a company where the R&D team, they monitor the working of a particular machine from home. The engineers monitor it from home. They watch it on their phone. Now, you may be knowing that the internet can be connected to the security cameras that are there in front of your house. So let's say you put the security cameras in front of your house, and then you are out of station. You are in some other city. Now you want to somebody has come. Okay, let's say one of your friend has come. He doesn't know that you are not in the house. Now he came to the entrance and then he has seen the lock. Then you will get an alarm saying that okay, now there is someone at the gate, and you can see it on your phone. And there are systems available where you can speak to that your friend through that camera. Okay, you can speak to him saying that, okay, now you're not in station, and then you will come back. Okay. So like that, there is Internet of Things is can be used. So there's a technology that is available. What they're saying is you can connect anything to internet. Now, companies are innovative in using this. There are many companies who have connected their trucks to the internet. Okay, so you can see where your trucks are and so on. I'm sure, I think many of your companies must be using this technology. So this is one example of what I'm talking about. Now, the another example is the simple automation. Okay, many of your companies, I'm sure they would have introduced automation either at individual machine level or at the total factory level. I know many companies who while they are setting up the factories now, they are setting them up in a totally automated manner. So the new factories are coming up as totally automated factories. So I know many companies who are doing that, where they cut the manpower by 1/10, improve the productivity, and then they're supposed to improve the quality and so on and so forth. Whether it's happening at every company, I'm not sure, but the investments have started happening. The Indian companies have woken up to the need that automation is required. Okay, so this is something which is automation is definitely happening in many companies. And then there is the technology of virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. This is the technology that is used in many areas. Now, in this particular video, this is a doctor who is using the technology, and then she can learn about the human anatomy using this what you call the augmented reality. Okay, so it can be, the augmented reality can be used for training. It can be used. See, I know one company who use this augmented reality to train their engineers in installation of their equipment. So now the service engineers are changing very often, isn't it? So what they do is they try to train their new people who come in. They will train them using this augmented reality, and then they'll send them to the field. So it's as good as you. It's almost like, I mean, you are using the equipment with your hands. The only thing is that it's a digital one that is there, and but the experience is still the same. Okay, so like that, I think there are. Yeah, I think Netaji is talking about training on health, safety, and environment in practice. I think this is something which can be done using this augmented reality. Okay, so that way, I think there is a lot of technology available. Now you have to decide as to how to use the technology. Okay, so the companies are using it for more areas. Like, for example, the sensor technology. Today, there is a lot of sensors which are available, am I right? Many types of sensors are there. So now these sensors, you can use them to collect data. Okay, so already in the companies, in the machines, there will be sensors, and then the machines will be giving data. But you need to make sure that you use the data, first of all. Whatever is coming, I think you should be able to use it. And if you want to collect more data, I think you can put more sensors and then collect the data. So that way, the industry 4.0, as you would have heard, it is not about one particular item, okay, but it is about several technologies that are available, which you can use it, you can put it together, your own solution for yourself, for your company. So it's a matter of how you use the technology, how you mix it up and then use it for getting better outcomes in your company. So earlier, let's say the first industrial revolution was just about steam engine. Okay, it's just steam engine. Okay, everybody looked at okay how to use steam engine in various applications. But now you have so many technologies which are available. Now it's up to you as to how to connect them, how to use them, and so on. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, Netaji is highlighting that the technology can be used to find out the risk hazard in any in a given area. Yes, I think what companies are doing is they're using this CCTV. CCTV normally it just records what's happening. But now the technology in such a way that CCTV video technology is used, and then software is reading that videos. See, many times what happens is you are recording a video, but who is seeing that video? Security people don't have time to go on watching the video. So now the software watches the video, and then you can define some parameters saying that, okay, if a person is coming within 1 meter to, let us say, a forklift, which is working in the shop floor, then it can be recorded as an incident. So there'll be a message going to someone that there was an incident today because that forklift went too close to the operator. Okay, so like that you can define as to which are the incidents that it should keep track of. Okay, so earlier there used to be many security people, right, around the your compound wall. Now you can put these cameras and then draw a digital line around your company, and then say that if anyone crosses this digital line, okay, give me an alarm. So you don't need to have 25 security people going around your perimeter. So like that, I think there is a lot of technology available, and then how you use it is something that it is entirely left to you. Okay, so now this is what I mean by technology. Okay, these are some examples that I have given. I'm sure I think all of you may have many more examples. Okay, would anyone want to share some experiences and so on? If so, you can just type it in and then we will unmute you. You can, with AR support, training of role employees for consistent result in terms of quality during assembly. Okay. So, Netaji, why don't you talk about that? Vignesh, can you unmute Netaji? Netaji, would you like to share something?
Yes, so can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Netaji.
So good morning, everyone, and thanks for this opportunity and creating this kind of session. One experience which I could share is like nowadays, off-role employees are all engaged in most of the operations during the assemblies. So consistently getting the results from these new employees once we engage in the production line is an Herculean task. So for that purpose, this such kind of augmented reality support, the person can know that which area this part has can be assembled, so that the checkpoints are all will be visible once no he use this support tool support, and they can assemble very quickly and get improve the speed as well as the checkpoints without missing anything. So this one point I could share on my experience. And another thing which I already mentioned, that we used to train the people on the safety perspective. Like in terms of say fire risk, or in terms of a high speed equipment operation, what all the hazards can come, and how to be responsive to mitigate the RPN. Such kind of training can be equip the people in a fast manner. So those two experience which I can share using augmented reality.
Good, good. Thank you, Netaji. So I think the usage of technology in the area of training, I think I've seen it. Some companies using it. Still, I think there is a lot more that can be done in that area. But definitely, I think companies have started using. So, like what I was saying, companies have become more aware of technology, especially post-COVID, because COVID, what it has done is it has created a big hole in the pockets of companies. Okay, suddenly the top line is gone. Okay, for 1 month, 1.5 months, there is no top line, but you have to maintain your team and all other expenses. So they had to really, struggle to maintain the companies. So in that way, the companies have woken up to the requirement of the technology, and then how technology can help the companies and so on. So, but still, I think we have a lot of failures in companies. Okay, the technology that automation, when it is at a company level and so on, there are failures that are happening, and I would like to talk to you about this is not failure about technology. It is a failure of the concerned teams to understand the technology and then use it well. Okay, so I'll give you some examples. Some basic example is in terms of implementing the ERPs. Okay, so I know at least 10 companies maybe, okay, who have failed in implementing ERP in a proper manner. Okay, the companies which are using a particular ERP for almost 2 decades, 3 decades, even those companies are not using the all the features of the ERP. They use it for a very basic what do you call basic requirements. Okay, so because of that, what happens is you are not utilizing the real purpose of that technology. So I know companies where they try to implement these ERPs, and then there is a lot of struggle in terms of usage of the ERP by the employees. But the same employees, they have been working very well before the ERP. Whatever manual system, semi-manual system that was there, they are working very well, and they're all well-intentioned people. There is no attitude problem and all that, but still these ERP implementations fail. Okay, and I've seen companies where they have implemented totally automated factories. Okay, so these totally automated factories, they are supposed to be having, let's say, 1/10 of this staff. Let's say in an old factory, you had a 50 people staff, let us say, to manage the factory. Now in this factory, they expect only 5 people. Okay, so if only 5 people are there, now how do you make sure that okay you are doing everything as required? Okay, so there is a problem in terms of what do you call there is problem in terms of managing that factory, because earlier I think the factory was managed in such a way that it's everything is man oriented. Okay, but now suddenly you have to make sure that you do everything in a proactive manner. Okay, so but people try to work they have been working earlier. So because of that, the totally automated factory, sometimes what happens is it becomes a very inefficient factory. Okay, because the systems are not implemented. Now, recently, I have posted one video about manufacturing engineering department, importance of manufacturing engineering department. In automotive companies and in some engineering companies, this manufacturing engineering department is there. But in many companies, it is not there. Okay, in many more industries, I think it's simply not existing. So because of that, what happens is when you introduce a new technology, you have to prepare people technology wise and the soft skills also. Both you have to prepare. But what happened in this company, they have just introduced the technology. So because of that, the company has had some serious problem in terms of making it day to day deliver the results. Okay. So there, what happened? The totally automated system, what it requires a very good maintenance. But the maintenance team had been working in the old manner, where if there is a breakdown, we'll set it right. But in a totally automated setup, you have to work for no breakdown. It should be zero breakdown approach. Okay, so there again, companies have failed in a miserable manner. Okay, so this total automations and the introduction of what you call the technology, it is not giving full result. See, there are many companies. First of all, the companies will not accept saying that it's a failure. This is one sorry state. Okay, so if companies accept saying that it's a failure, then they can see as to, okay, what else can be done. But they will be happy with whatever result that has come. Okay. Like, for example, I said there are companies who are using an ERP suboptimally for a very long time. Now, if you ask that company as to how is the ERP, they'll say the ERP is working very well. Okay, so the expectations of companies itself has become so low that they accept whatever is happening. But in case of, let us say, a totally automated factory and all, there you can see more data that there is a problem in the particular system not working, because they can see that the production is not happening properly. They are not able to achieve the designated capacity. Okay, and they are not able to maintain the quality. There are many breakdowns. These are all, you can see it visually. Okay, so there they are not able to say no. But what happens is they do not know what to do. Okay, so the automated factory will continue like that in an inefficient manner for a long time. So this is what's been happening in terms of the technology that is introduced. Okay. Now, if you ask me, is it like Indians are resistant to technology? Is it like we can't be, we don't know how to use technology? Like already I said, in personal lives, we are using good amount of technology. Now, one good example of introducing a wonderful automation and then it's working is the metro rail system. Okay, the metro rail system is there in Bangalore, in Chennai, in Hyderabad, in Delhi, all the big cities. I think all of you would have been, I'm sure many of you would have used it also. Okay, so these metro rail systems, what happens? Okay, the trains come at a particular time. Okay, maybe every 3 minutes, every 5 minutes, whatever it is. I think the trains keep coming and people are using the system excellently. There is the number of people who are managing it is very, very low. In India, there are some people who are managing the stations, but it is much lower than what you would have seen compared to other types of railways. Okay. But if you look at overseas, maybe in, let's say, in Singapore or in US and so on, the number of people managing this railway station is close to zero. There is no one who is managing it. Everything is connected, right from whatever displays are there and the trains, everything is connected to the internet, and then people are able to see it from where they are. And there is no problem. There is, I mean, everything is happening like a clockwork. So the ticket system, I think many of you would have seen, it is automated. people can come in only if they have tickets, and then if somebody is jumping over that ticket gates, I think the cameras will record, and then somebody may get in, may interfere. And compared to regular railway stations, these MRTs, I think they have these markings where the train will stop. So everybody will stand there, and then the door will open right in front of you, and then you can just get in. So people stand there in a disciplined manner. I've seen in Bangalore Metro Rail, people will have small queues at that place. On both sides, you can enter. When there is a train coming up, on two sides you can enter. People who are exiting, they will exit from the middle. Okay, so they will line up like that. Okay, you can also see some amount of lining up in this video. Okay, so because of the system, now these metro rail systems are able to handle huge number of people. They are able to handle huge number of people with very minimal intervention from anybody. So what is different in this? What is different in this is the whole system is designed very well. It is the same design whether it is in the US or in Singapore or in India. It's the same design of the whole metro rail system. People come in and use it because it is such a big system. You have to get in only from one particular place and so on. The people who come in are forced to behave in a certain way. When they behave in that certain way, that is where the discipline comes in. Let's say our traditional railway stations, you can enter the railway station through the main gate, or you can enter it through at least another 10 entrances, unofficial entrances, which are there. Even the dogs can also enter. Okay, so when you have a system like that, you cannot control it. Okay, so you put more people, you put 20 people, you put 30 people. There are complaints, so you put more people. So you can also see this particular MRT, the metro rail system, whether the video that I am showing or you would have seen in Bangalore or Chennai somewhere. It is designed in such a way that cleaning of that becomes very easy. Even the cleaning can be automated. So companies have a lot to think about when you see systems like this. Why the same people who are working in your company, who are resisting in the systems that you are introducing, they go to the metro rail, they have to follow the system. Isn't it? Now, let's say another example like metro rail. See, there are so many malls in all the cities. Am I right? I think even a small city like Coimbatore is having now 3 malls. Okay, 3 or 4 malls now. Okay, so when you go into the mall, okay, everybody behaves in a certain disciplined manner because the mall is air conditioned. Okay, the shops are very nice to look at and so on. The floor is very nice, escalators. The whole environment demands a discipline from you. So the people who, let us say, in your city, if it is Hyderabad, let's say in Charminar area or in Coimbatore, in Opanagara Street, it's a open street. Anybody can do anything. So there'll be absolutely no discipline in these areas. But when you go to mall, the same people, they will behave in a different manner. So there is a lesson for us there, saying that, okay, you have to design the whole system in such a way that it is people friendly, it is user friendly. They are able to use it quite easily without much effort. And the system works. It is not that it works for some time and it doesn't work for some time. Then I'll be frustrated, I won't use the system. But this is a system which is continuously, it works. Okay, now you would have seen this Digi Yatra at airports. The government has introduced Digi Yatra. It is not at compulsory, but they are slowly making it compulsory. So last time, I have not downloaded that app, and I have not been using it for quite some time. But recently, when I travel, I made sure that I downloaded it. I did whatever is the identification work that I have to do. It's not so difficult actually. It's quite easy, and I've set it up everything. I've put my tickets in that and so on. So when I went to the Coimbatore airport, the Digiyatra doesn't work. Okay, that lady, she asked me to, she will ask me, sir, go back, come forward, go back, come forward for that camera. Okay, 3, 4 times she made me do that. After that, she said, sir, this is not working. You go in the regular line. Okay, but when I went to the Mumbai airport, it was working pakka. Okay. So I enjoyed it because there were big lines on the side. Okay. There everybody was standing, but here I was able to just go stand in front of that camera. It recognizes me, gates open, I go in. Everywhere it's the same thing. You don't have to take out your Aadhaar card to show to people and all that. Okay, it's not required. You just have to just go and stand there. So it's on facial recognition. It works, and then you just go into the. So definitely the airport experience will become much better for all of us because of Digiyatra. Okay, fine. It did not work at Coimbatore Airport because it's just getting implemented. It is not at fully implemented. It's not at 100% in all the places. Okay, so I think yeah, Netaji is saying sometimes in toll gate also at initial stage, Digitatra has to mature. Yes, I agree with Netaji. Even now, Netaji, the toll gates, I would say it is still not as per the technology outside the country. Okay, it's still not fully matured according to me, toll gates, because toll gates, what happens is now you have to almost stop at the toll gate. That guy will say, sir, you please come forward. You please come forward. You have to go on going for almost you are hitting that boom, this one. Okay, then it will work. Or some cars, even then it will not work. That guy will bring that big rod and then read it by touching your FASTag. Okay, but if you would have seen overseas, you can travel through the toll gate at the same speed like you are traveling on the highway. Okay, at 150 kilometers speed you travel, it will catch. Okay, it's there everywhere. Outside India, you don't have to slow down for making your what do you call a FASTag read. Okay, so fine, we are maturing. We are maturing slowly, but it's happening. So I'm sure. I think Digiyatra, when it is totally mature, we will be enjoying that technology. No two ways about that. Okay. Now Sriram is talking about in melting area in foundry for pouring we are experimenting with augmented reality. So yes, I know LG is a progressive company. So see, it's like this in a foundry at pouring. Let's say you want to train your people. Let's say your employees are changing, new people are coming very frequently. Now you can't train them online. That is at the production because its safety issues are there, and also your productivity will suffer. And today, there are many employees who go on changing. So what happens is this metal pouring, the metal is actually at about 1500 degrees centigrade, 1300 to 1500 degrees centigrade. Now the operator he will be holding a long rod to do some mixing and then pushing up the material. So, and when he has to remove the slag, he has to use that rod. That rod itself will be, I would say, maybe about 15, 20 kgs. So he has to hold it and he has to perform an operation. Now this, and it is about 1300 to 1500 degrees centigrade. So training a person in this, it becomes very difficult. Now that's where technology can come in. Now technology, you can use the technology for simulating all that. The guy may be holding the rod, or it may be a digital one. I think probably holding a rod will be a better this one because he'll hold the 20 kgs. And then, okay, he has to perform that operation. I don't know whether augmented reality can create the heat also, because heat is very important aspect in that area. But at least the movement, everything he can learn using the augmented reality. And then when you take him to the actual furnace, the time for training will be much lesser. Okay. So yes, I agree with that. So what I'm saying is, it's not that we are not good at using technology. It's the design of the technology initiative which matters. You have to make sure that the design of your technology initiative is something like this metro rail system or the mall that I spoke about. So it has to be some overall design where people are expected to behave in a particular way. It is user friendly. I use it, it works, so I use it again. I use it again. Okay. So in companies, I think this is not happening. Even with reference to ERP, ERP, what does it mean? ERP means actually you have to go down to the micro level of every activity. And then you have to see how is it supposed to be done, and then you have to automate it. Nobody has gone to the micro levels of activity anytime. They are just doing the work. They don't know how to do. When someone says, please explain as to how you are doing all the steps, they won't be able to explain. They'll say, no, I'm just doing it. That's it. How are you entering this voucher into the computer? Okay, I'm just doing it. Because the person has been doing it for so long. And all the processes in companies are not defined in a micro level. Because of that, what happens is whoever does it, if I do it in this particular way. If Netaji does it, he will do it in his own way. Sriram does it, Sriram will do it in his own way. Navanithan does it, Navanithan will do it in his own way, like that. So because of that, these automations are failing. The company is not able to create this a larger automated environment, even when they invest huge amounts of money. Okay. So now what do we do? Now I've been saying that, okay, companies are not doing it well, the good results are not coming. There are fantastic examples of technology implementation, but many companies, 90% of the companies are struggling. Okay, so before the implementation of technology, I am suggesting very clearly 3 steps. Okay, prepare, okay, and then you have to learn and you have to change. Okay, what is that? Let's talk about individually each of these steps. Okay, so first of all, as a part of preparation, I'm saying you need to set a very high goal for your technology implementation. Do not start technology implementation with small goals. Okay, you will be wasting your opportunity. Technology implementation is a example of a big organizational change. Okay, so don't implement technology just like that because some senior person has gone to another company and they have implemented some IoT. That guy comes back and says, no, I want IoT, I want IoT. And somebody has said, that, sir, fine, I think MD wants IoT, let's do IoT. And nobody is looking at what's the purpose of that. Okay, so what do I mean by goal? What type of a goal can be there? I would say companies have to take up a goal saying that, okay, it's a technology can transform your company. Please believe that. So then what is the goal that you need to have? I would say if your company has been making, let's say 10% profit for the last 5 years. Now I would say in the next 3 years, we should make 15% profit, 50% more. Or if your productivity has been X, okay, people productivity. You say that in 3 years' time, or you want to take 5 years, I have no problem. Okay, 3 to 5 years' time, the productivity has to become 5x. You should take goals like that. Only then technology implementation is worthwhile. Otherwise, don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Okay, so I'm saying you should take a huge goal. Only then when you take a goal like that, what's the power of such a goal? Such a goal will motivate the people. It will wake them up. If you tell your people saying that let's improve the productivity this year by 20%. Okay, so that's one way of telling. 20%, everybody will say, no, very difficult, sir. 20%, how we can do it? You are really killing us. All that they will say. Okay. And they know very well saying that 20% is just like that, it is possible. Okay. Maybe some teams will struggle, but they will achieve 20%. No doubt about that. Okay. But if you tell them saying that, guys, you have to improve the productivity by 5 times in the next 5 years. Okay. Now they will wake up. Initially, they will think you are joking and all that. But when you start linking it to their performance assessment and all, they know saying that it's real. Okay. Now they will wake up. They will challenge you, saying that, sir, how is this possible? You are saying 5 times in 5 years. How we can do it? You tell us. If you tell us, we can do it. Okay. Then you have to start working on a model area. In a particular area, you will have to say, saying, okay, let's improve the productivity by 5 times in this particular area. Then use the technology. Now, the technology that is, whether it is IoT or whether it is automation, whether it is whatever is the technology that is available, let us use the technology to improve the productivity by 5 times in this particular modern area, model area. Earlier, lean implementation used to be like that. Okay. So, what I'm saying is don't start technology implementation without a big goal. If you start it, you are wasting a fantastic opportunity for a transformation of your company. You will be doing some small improvements and then everybody claps and then people are given promotion for that and all that. And it's a waste, I'm telling you. Okay. So after the goal is fixed, first of all, you have to check whether have you implemented the lean philosophy in your company. If you even now I see that generally if you look at across industries, not just automotive, across industries, when you look at it, even now 65 to 70% of your companies have not implemented lean philosophy. It's tremendous waste that is happening in companies. You can improve the productivities in these companies by at least 3 to 4 times. Imagine as to how much money they can save, but they don't have time to do that. Okay, so if you're going for technology, make sure first of all you have implemented lean philosophy. Okay, and then second thing is you have to make sure you implement a good ERP. Okay. This is again, these are all fundamentals, isn't it? See, when we are talking about Industry 4.0, augmented reality, and so on and so forth, we have to first address this lean philosophy. I'm not saying you can say that I have implemented lean and then lean application in my company is over. It's not possible. It will go on for years. You can implement, you can go on fine tuning it. That's okay with me. But first of all, don't have a situation where you have not even implemented the basics of lean. That should not be the case. Then implement ERP and then make sure you implement the business systems. What I mean is when I say business system, this should be a basic way of working in every function. Without this, technology will be a waste. Even now, again, I'm saying 75% or even 80% of the companies are not having proper way of working in every function. Okay. So there are no SOPs. There are SOPs for the sake of ISO, which are again, ISO is a colossal waste. Okay. Nobody is using ISO properly in India. Again, I won't say nobody, but 80% of the companies are not using. But if you go to even China, in China, if you look at ISO system is followed very strictly. I remember the company for which I was working, when we went for ISO 9001 certification in China, the auditor was very strict. Everybody had to implement the systems properly, only then he certified. But in India, you pay the fees, you will get the certificate. Okay, so that's not useful. Okay, so we'll have to make sure. Yo, yeah. Okay, so we went into somebody's house, I think. Okay, fine. So what I'm saying is, Vignesh, I think Kailash Madhav has to mute. Okay, fine. So these basic systems will have to be implemented in the company. Okay, so without implementing these basic systems, trying to implement technology is a problem. Okay, now anyone want to ask questions? I think I see a couple of questions in chat. Let me. Okay. Balaji has said role of RPA, robotic process automation in ERP. Okay, Balaji, would you like to talk about that? Vignesh, can you unmute Balaji? Balaji.
Sir, can
Yes, Balaji.
Yeah, thanks for giving opportunity, sir. But I don't have any idea in the robotic process automation. But in a company that we just implemented the robotic process automation instead for checking the material test certifications, because all the test certificates having the certain criteria that carbon is how much percentage and magnesium how much percentage. Earlier we are repeated one person, the person will check against the standard how far it is meet out at all. So now implemented ERP, they will automatically check everything. So if it is okay, it is found okay, it goes to next level. If it is found any defect means it gets back to the supplier. Same like in ERP, any automation can be happen by implementing by combining aligning that SAP with robotic process automation to know about something, sir, that it is possible or not.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Balaji. I think you're working in Sandfits?
No, sir, I am working in Slumberger.
Schlumberger. Okay, right, right. I understand. I understand what you're talking about. Thank you for that. Netaji, you want to talk about this ERP, SAP application, number of users, this remark?
Yes, sir. So what I see is, as you was insisting on that, like no, the company invests a lot in ERP systems, and how people embrace this technology is sometimes no very minimal, and like sometimes it goes as a redundant in terms of usage. That is what I'm saying. Like the people still try to go with downloading the reports and try to see that in the Excel. They try to see how much is the stock and all those things. What is the shortages? But in SAP itself, it has every T codes possible, so that they can use the system very efficiently, and the monitoring of the process is quite easy. But no, the embracing of this technology has to come from every person, so that the organization can get the full benefit out of it. This is what I would try to say.
Yeah, but Netaji, what is that I'm inviting you to look at is the same people, the employees in your company or any other company who are not using the ERP very well and so on, they will use this metro rail system very disciplined manner. They will use Swiggy and Uber and Ola and all the technology usage of them will be pakka. Okay, so we have to see as to why are they able to do all that outside the company? They are able to use technology. Okay, but why is it that in companies, not only your company, I think it's all companies. So that is something which I would like you to think about. I'll be talking about it in the 2 slides from now. Okay.
Yes, maybe, yeah, you rightly said, maybe oh, what do you say, the data collection and analysis and then result. Maybe the data collection, people takes lot of time, and people has to spend their energy on the analysis, so that the result will be quicker. Maybe such application is not giving enough information what they want. Maybe that place we need to focus, so that the streamlining of application has to happen. Yes.
Sure, sure, sure. Yes, Hari, you are talking about establishing systems slow will give attention to micro level requirement and which defines the clear purpose of implement. Hari, you want to talk about it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Hari.
Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, I just made an agreement with your this slide actually. When they are going for an hi-fi implementation of technologies, they just overlook the uh, basic things, whatever by basic requirements maybe. So this have a great impact in future after all developments. So the thing is, we need to take care of these things. So development should be in a slow manner, so that it can give attention to all micro level activities, as you said during the previous slide. And I just took this quote recently from a website of American Defense Systems. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Very.
Thank you, sir.
It's really good, Hari, and I agree with you that slow is smooth and smooth is fast, because that is what is, I would say, is rhythm. Okay, I think again in one of the recent videos I was talking about, rhythm is something which is very important for a lean implementation, for an operation. Actually, it's not just lean implementation. Okay. Yes, sir. Now, next, I think, I don't know what is the name of the gentleman. It is Samsung SM, this phone model, I think. ISO is quality management system, which is called the management utilize standard and follow for implementation. Okay, I don't know what he means by that. And now Balaji says, may I know Deming Award is given only based on system or product quality? Okay, I think that's Balaji, that's a slightly not in syllabus, but I will still answer it. See, Deming is given for, I think they have a line actually, purpose, why Deming Prize is given. And it says usage of statistical tools and all to improve quality. Okay, so improving quality is the foundation for Deming Prize. Okay, quality of your product, your process, your people, everything that happens in your company. Okay, so anyway, so we have been talking about saying that before we start implementing technology, we have to prepare well, right? That is the subject we have been talking about. So we said um, this technology, I mean, before we start implementing the technology, we should have a big goal. We said that, okay, and then we said all these basic systems will have to be implemented first. Only then you should think of lean, okay, and then we let us go to the next topic, that is learning. I think this learning is something which is very, very important for all of us. Okay, we'll have to make sure saying that we learn very well about technology. Only then we should attempt at implementing this technology. Okay, so otherwise, what happens is mm, you will try to implement the technology, but because people have not learned properly, okay, then I think your technology implementation can fail. One example I'll tell you. If the biggest problem in implementing SAP is, SAP, biggest reason for failure is that people do not know how to use it, or they do not know what are the features that are available to improve their efficiency. Because of that, the implementation fails. So companies attempt doing a training and all that, but training when there is no context, that is, I'm not relating it to my work. You are training me, I'm just learning as if it is some general knowledge. Okay, that is one way of learning, but learning in context of your work, that's entirely different. So usually companies attempt at training people without a context. So that's where the training fails. Okay, so it has to be with reference to the context that you have. Let's say if I am a person, I'm handling a particular, I'm handling bills in sitting in stores, let us say. Okay, I have to be trained with reference to my work very specifically. Then I can take it in and it will, what do you call it, will stay with me. Okay, so there are very many ways of learning. I think I know that some companies are initiated teaching about technology in a general manner to their employees. So it has its impact, no two ways about that. Okay, so it will open up your idea saying that what all technology is available. Somebody, let's say, sitting in finance department may not even know about many of the technologies that are available. But when he or she hears about the technologies that are available, they may find an application for that in their work area. Okay, so today, the gone are the days when the IT department will decide as to what type of software you should implement, and then they take a initiative. Okay, this technology that we are talking about, it has to be implemented by everyone in the company. The proposals for implementation of technology has to come from various people within your company, not just the IT department. If it's coming only from IT department, then it will fail. Okay, so what is required for this technology to succeed, for Industry 4.0 and Industry 5.0 to succeed? All of your people will have to learn about technology. Everybody who is working in your company has to learn something about about the technology. Okay, so there are companies who are teaching to employees. There are many companies which are available who will teach. Okay, at IMA, we also teach the basics of technology implementation. Okay, basic course we have. And you can do formal learning. There are courses. For example, Indian Institute of Science is having a course in digital factory. Okay, now if you guys are interested, you can go and do that course. It's a 6 months course, if I remember well. Like that, there are some institutes which are running the courses. That's a formal learning. Largely, there won't be a link to your work. Okay, it is about technology. Okay, but it is useful. You can learn about what all is available, and there are so many online courses that are available. You can learn from vendors. If Siemens is your supplier, please call Siemens and then ask them to present about Industry 4.0. You can learn from that. Okay, if it is useful, you can use their services. Okay, a similar manner, you can even ask Infosys to come and present to you about Industry 4.0. If your company is big enough, they will come. For a very small company, I think they won't show interest. Okay, so then try out a project. Trying out a small project is the best way to learn. Actually, you can visit companies. I don't know whether how many of you know that Siemens in their Kalwa factory, one of those factories in Mumbai, they allow visitors to come and then visit their company and then look at their automated factory. Okay, so if you guys are interested, Siemens, you can reserve your day online. You please search online, you will get it. Siemens Mumbai allows people to come in and watch their automated factory. So visiting companies is a very good way of learning. And there are some companies who have done well. I heard, I have not seen, but I heard that ZF has implemented technology very well. Okay, maybe you can ask for a visit to that company. So there are companies who have done it excellently in across the factory. There are some companies who have done well in specific areas. Go visit these companies. That is another way of learning. Okay, and then there are seminars that are happening. Like I said, there is a course that we have from IMA, and there are webinars that are happening. So have a plan as to how you would like to learn. I think there should be a plan. You have to make sure that you have a plan for learning and then implement that plan. So this is about learning. And finally, change yourself. There is a need for, see, this is the biggest reason as to why Netaji spoke about many people not using the technology, not using the ERP properly and so on. The reason is, I think, the future leader, the leader who will be working in a totally automated environment, need to have some capabilities. Okay, he need to have analytical capability. This is the biggest one actually. Okay, this is also called, some people call it as critical thinking and so on, but this is something which is very much required. He need to be a system builder. The person will have to be a highly learning mentality. He should know as to how to integrate the systems. Okay, there is something happening in quality, something happening in maintenance. These two are many times connected. So this person should be able to look at these linkages and understand them and then connect them. Maintenance activity, you may do it for breakdown or you may do it for maintaining an equipment. When you say maintaining an equipment, it has a direct link to quality. Okay, so people should be able to do this integration. And then, of course, he should be able to develop team, and he should be a frugal engineer. Okay, in this total automated environments, what is important is, I think, you have to be a frugal engineer. Okay, you engineer as much as it is required. See, famously, it's called, if there are some designs which are over designed, too much of a material put into that. That's called, they call it as Russian design, because Russian designs actually, they don't fail at all, Russian parts. The reason they don't fail is they have the failure, I mean, the tolerance is they have put very, very high tolerances. Okay. But now in this world, I think you can't afford to be a very liberal with cost. So you have to be frugal. So what I'm saying is, your employees need to make a change in themselves. Okay, because see, if it is a big system like a metro rail system, you go in, you have no other way, you have to work like that. Okay, if you are able to set up such systems, yes, I think many of the people will find it easy to merge into the new way of working. Okay, let's say you set up a factory like that, which works like clockwork. Actually, that is what is required. When you set up an automated factory, you have to set it up like a metro rail system or like a mall or whatever. The whole design should, right from gate, okay, how you go in, everything should be defined in a very clear manner. You have to behave like that. There is no other way. Then people will behave and then you will have a success. But if it is anything lesser, then the people have to change. Okay, technology is getting introduced, but people are not changing. That's the reason it is failing. Even in with artificial intelligence also, I think who is the most important person? It is you who is the most important person, because either you have to teach it or you have to use it. If there is no human beings to use artificial intelligence, what use will it be? So the person has to know how to use it. So there is a change that is required in the people. This last slide, I think this is the most important one in technology implementation. If the change is not happening, then your technology initiatives, if they are bigger initiatives, there's a very good chance that they will fail. So after these three steps, after you prepare yourself, after you learn, after you change yourself and your team, then you should attempt implementing the technology. And I'm sure it will be a huge success. Okay. So I think that's all I have from my side. Okay. Kailash Madhav is asking, can you able to elaborate on general way of lean philosophy and some examples? Okay, so Kailash, lean is something which is very simple at one level. It is about removing wastages in the way of working. Okay, usually there are a lot of wastages in our way of working. So removing that waste is lean. That's it. That's a very simple way of explaining. So when you look at your manufacturing, right from planning up to dispatch of material to your customers, there are many activities that need to be done. Okay. So if these activities are arranged in such a way that there is minimal waste or no waste, okay, then that is the most optimal way. Okay. So identifying these waste and then removing the waste, that is what is lean manufacturing about. Okay, and I've been involved in lean implementation in many companies. My experience is that you can improve your productivity by at least 2 to 5 times. Okay, by implementing lean manufacturing. Let's say in a company where you are not implemented lean at all. Okay, now if you try to implement lean, I would say you can improve the productivity by 2 to 5 times. Okay, I'm not joking. And then this is not applicable only to manufacturing, it is applicable to your offices, I mean, it's applicable to anyone. It's applicable to your managing director also. Okay. So, yes, anybody else would like to ask?
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yes, Kailas. Yes, yes. Shriram, would you like to say something? You can unmute Shriram. Anyone else has any questions? Anything that you want to discuss? If it's not a question, also you want to share something, you are most welcome. You please put something in the chat box and then we'll unmute you. Yes, sir. No questions. No other questions. I think Sriram is trying to type some. Sriram, you have put in slides. I can't read them. Okay, I think Sriram is talking about the lean implementation and some of the projects that he was involved with. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Yes,
Talking
Sriram.
to you all. Yeah. So one of the example of this robotic process automation, which we implemented in our pressure vessel division, sir, PVD,
Okay.
where we automated the hydro test report, sir.
Okay.
So the hydro testing happens in just for all of my understanding, we have 6 manufacturing plants. One plant is in Singanallur, other is at some 5-6 kilometers away from this plant, where this tanks are being hydro tested. For the same example of somebody was sharing about the test report. So to making this, it was earlier with a person who will note down all the readings and then go to his supervisor and then quality inspector. There he prepares a test report and then go to the another table where he will get needs to signed from the quality manager, and after that he dispatches this manual report along to the head office. Now, through this robotic process automation, where this hydro test is automatically captured using sensors there, and then this report entries are all automated, so no manual work involved. And from the head office point of view, where they can see the report online through a SharePoint. This one, sir. So no complete manual work eliminated, and then in that process the efficiency and then the error in preparing report, everything got removed, sir.
Definitely. I think it's a good application, Sriram. So I think Balaji is asking about brief about AI implementation in discrete manufacturing. So I think he has put 2 questions. That's the first one. See, AI can be implemented and used in any industry, I would say. So discrete manufacturing also it can be. You can use AI in discrete manufacturing for first of all for product development. Your engineers will be designing and then they will be developing products. So you can use AI to learn about the development. The software can keep learning about what's working, which design is performing very well. When we say design, not just the product design, design of each part. Okay, and then it can suggest next time when your engineer is trying to design that particular part, the software can suggest saying that, okay, now if this is the thickness, if you maintain, I think it will be very optimal for manufacturing. It is good. Earlier, you had a good experience with this. Okay, so like that, it can help you in product development. It can help you in manufacturing. But what is critical for artificial intelligence to work for your application is that there should be a lot of data. Okay, so if you are again the prepare part of it, if you want to implement artificial intelligence, then what is required is your manufacturing process and product development process. You have to put good SOPs, capture it at a very micro level, make sure that you are collecting data. Okay, if you are not collecting data, if you don't have data, artificial intelligence will give some generic suggestions, which may not be of much use. Okay. So, and then any institute to learn about digital twin like Siemens. Yes, you can learn from Siemens, Balaji. Siemens is having an online learning institute also. I don't remember about that, but you can contact Siemens. And then, like I said, go and see that automated factory of Siemens in Mumbai. Okay, then you will be able to meet many Siemens team members, and then they can give you they can tell you as to how to learn about digital twins. Okay, so yeah, digital twins, Siemens is having software to do that. I'm sure many other people are also having softwares. Okay, but you want to learn about that and then implement it for one of your machines or something. Yes, I think you can contact Siemens. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions or anybody else who would like to share a point of view or something? You can participate more, because by participating, you make it more interesting.
Sir, from my side, like I'd like to ask about this artificial intelligence. So it is quite coming up very well in several areas. Okay, but being in the manufacturing industries, like which are all the areas which is predominantly applied now? Because this kind of exposure is not available. So can you throw some light on that? Which areas can be easily adapted?
See, artificial intelligence is nothing but it is learning from past experience. Like, for example, if you look at yourself, Netaji, you have been I know you have been a maintenance guy earlier, right? Then you worked initially in maintenance areas, you learned, then slowly you became an operations person. Okay, and now I think you are heading a company. Okay, so you have been learning, isn't it? Consistently, you have been learning from your past experience. You're learning something, going to a next level. Okay, again, learn something from there, going to the next level. Artificial intelligence is just doing just that. But the only thing is, artificial intelligence has huge amounts of data. If you look at the chat GPT that is available to all of us online, it is learning from everything that is there online. Okay, if you have put an article online, it is learning from that also. And then it is learning at a very high speed from huge amounts of data, which may not be available to individuals like you and me. But for it, a lot of data is available. So it's learning. And then it is suggesting from that learning, saying that, okay, now you can do like this. And okay, so how do you apply to your manufacturing? Now you're manufacturing wherever there is a learning opportunity. Okay, what do you manufacture, Netaji? I forget where you are working now.
Sir, currently I am into the renewable energy, the wind turbines manufacturing.
Okay, so wind turbines manufacturing. So I'm sure it's a very low volume, but high accuracy required and stuff like that. Okay, so just now I explained about how AI can be useful in product development. So in product development, if we are developing products continuously, and some products are working well, some products are not working well. So there is a design of various parts that is there that you are doing. So if you capture all the data, design of all your parts, what are the tolerances, blah, 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 and then you assemble it, and then assembly parameters also have to be captured. And then you have a product which you put it for application, then it delivers you a certain result. Okay. Now, so this is all the design of the product. So this is the performance of the product. Now, if you have many data like that, so then what happens is that data you can feed it to AI and then say that, okay, can you please learn from what is happening actually, and then tell me as to for each of the parts, what's the most optimal design. See, you may be knowing that to decide the process parameters for the various parts, you take data, you do design of experiments. Okay, so you are working, then you are getting a result, various process parameters, various levels, specifications, you are getting a result. So you look at the input and you look at the output, and then finally you decide your process parameters, the lower and upper specification limits and all on the basis of data. So AI just does the same. Okay. So the only difference is it learns from huge amounts of data, okay, which you and I cannot do that. We are limited by our human this one, whereas AI can. So wherever there is a data getting generated, okay, you can use AI. If there is no data, AI can't do much. You understand, Netaji?
Yes, sir. Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Anybody else want to discuss something, ask something? I know it is a Sunday and then you are in relaxed mode. Sridhar is there. P. Sridhar. Yes, Sridhar, are you using any technology in your service? Sridhar is logged in and then forgotten, I think. Okay, anybody else who would like to ask something?
Sir, this is Balaji.
Yes, Sridhar, you're woken up. Tell me, how are you?
Yes, sir, fine, sir. Nowadays, I'm using artificial intelligence for our calculation also, sir, for the compressor service.
Wonderful.
We can able to simulate the customer conditions, sir. If they are using 2 hours per day, how much volume of air is consuming, how much time the compressor is going to unload, something. I can able to use artificial intelligence by giving the correct prompts. Yes, based on the data, I can able to use many of the things I'm using. Also.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I think, see, like this, the best way to learn about AI, no? Sometimes AI, these all these big names, we get confused. The best way to learn or best way to handle AI is to use it. You may use it for very fundamental purposes initially. Okay, it's like, for example, how I use AI is, see, I develop training modules. So earlier, what I used to do is, let's say 2 years back, I have to develop the training module right from A to Z. So for a particular module of, let's say, if I have to develop 25, 30 slides, okay, it will take almost 2 days for me. Okay. So because I have to do everything, I have to sit and write everything. Okay. Now what I do is I'll give a rough plan. I'll work out and then give it to ChatGPT and then tell it saying it's please on the basis of this input, please develop 1,500 words or 2,000 words, something like that, whatever. I give that. When I say 2,000 words, it won't develop exactly 2,000 words. I mean, because it is right now I'm using free account. So you say that, okay, 2,000 words you want. So it will give only some 1,000 words. Doesn't matter. But it reduces my work by at least by 60%. So earlier, if I was spending 15 hours for developing this, now I'll save at least about 8 to 9 hours. It can't give me a final product for my work, but it will give me a what do you call a skeleton, or maybe slightly better than a skeleton. Okay. So like that, I think you start using artificial intelligence. Free accounts are available, and maybe after some time you can pay also. Okay. Then okay, you look at okay, how do I use this? How do I use? That's the best way to learn about artificial intelligence. Any of the courses and all, they will talk a lot of things, but you actually try using it, then you will understand more about that. So Sridhar is saying using artificial intelligence, I can get more accurate data by providing correct prompts and data. I use AI to calculate engineering calculations, compressor volume calculations, and compressor timing calculations as well. Okay, so Sridhar is involved in installation of compressors at client ends, and then he is involved in helping customers to make the right compressor selection. So for all those calculations, I think now he can just use AI, and he'll be able to use a much better service to the customer. So one suggestion to all of you is, right now, this week itself, use AI if you are not used it already. Use AI for something, some of your regular work, and try to get even some benefit from that. Then you'll start understanding what it is, and it's not a big deal. Okay, AI is not, it's nothing like a mystery or something. Okay. Mhm. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Good. I think I'm happy that all of you have come online. I realize that this festival season, Navratri is going on. So, despite that, I think many of you have come online. Thank you for that. And then we will keep doing this every month, at least one webinar. So, please feel free to join it. And then you can also invite your friends. Okay. So if no other questions, then we will stop this now. Is that okay? Is there a training program in IMA? Yes, Sridhar, there is a e-learning program in IMA, but that addresses only the how to prepare for. I told about 3 subjects, no? Prepare, learn, and change. Okay, so it talks more about prepare and change part of it. Okay, so it's not an advanced program. Okay, advanced, I can help someone with actual projects because I'm not good at theory on actual implementation. Okay, so you can contact me and I can give you more details. Okay, thank you, gentlemen and ladies, if someone is there online. Thank you so much.